I first got interested in filmmaking when I was 14 or 15 with skateboarding videos. We used to try to make sponsor me videos and we'd film it with high cameras and edit it with 2 VCRs. So from there, I guess, just learning how to put something together and how to film skateboarding and how to just edit with 2 VCRs was really, I guess, when I got exposed to some form of filmmaking, and then from there, I guess it just kind of grew as a hobby and to a passion of mine. I was really just, I mean, there was like, say, movies and stuff that inspired me, but a specific person didn't come along until I really got into the actual filmmaking stuff of making short films and feature films and whatnot. And then a lot of it is like the typical guy inspirations like Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. Just because of their mentalities on filmmaking, on how they approach it, sort of suits the way I'm doing it. Like they do a lot of do-it-yourself stuff and creative solutions to like common problems. So they provide a good inspiration for me to keep pursuing what I'm doing. The first film I made was a film called Race to Light, a Fitness Freddy story. It was a comedy that I made for my astronomy class at UBC. They had a project where you could make any sort of creative project and submit it. So I wrote this little script. It was maybe 12 or 14 pages, and I submitted that as my little project. And I had characters such as the light and the black hole, and the light was like a bad guy, and the black hole was a bad guy. And then there was this girl named Sunshine, and you know, she was a good girl. So that was the first one I made. And then I guess problems that I had, I didn't really know what I was doing. So there was like a whole ton of problems. Like I didn't really know about an establishing shot, so we would just cut from scene to scene and like you wouldn't really know where you were. Audio problems, like I didn't know how to mic stuff, I didn't know how to light stuff. But it really was just a comedy with like me and my friends basically. We just ran out and we had a little script and we just shot it the best we could, and like it turned out to be really funny and like a good time and a really good learning experience. So there was a bunch of problems throughout, but nothing like huge, I guess. Just little things like not really knowing what to do, and it was really just like learning as you go along. So I guess the biggest things were probably lighting and audio. Audio is kind of not so great at sometimes, and lighting is not so great at sometimes. But you know, overall, it turned out pretty good for like a first short film. So I entered a film festival called the Mighty Asian Movie Making Marathon. We had to make a film in 6 days, and we of course chose to do sort of an Asian themed film, so we decided to make a Kung Fu movie. I had a friend of mine be the choreographer, so she choreographed 2 people who had no history. One was an actor and the other was like a DJ friend of mine. So we put him in the film, and they had, you know, almost no experience with choreography. So she taught him stuff. She was teaching him. She made up all the choreography, all the fight choreography, taught it to him. We were off filming some other scenes with some other guys, and so it's kind of like an action kung fu movie, very typically Asian. A big goal of mine for that whole film was to make it have a really high production value, because I really don't like the looks of, I guess, people's homemade DV films that are just like very wide shot, like, you know, no cool compositions or poor colors or poor audio. So I really tried to get cinematically the film to look as Hollywood, or as I guess Hong Kong, as possible, like to emulate the classic sort of kung fu films that came out. That's a part of the Asian history, because I thought that would be important. We got 3rd place, we got a spot in the Vancouver Asian Film Festival, and it was a good time. It was a good learning experience, and it was good to delve into the Asian history of film, which is sort of like kung fu. I know that a lot of people are really into you know, old John Woo movies and like old Shaw Brother films. Just a lot of cinephiles are into that stuff, and I think maybe it's hard to say. I think I am a little more interested in it just because of my heritage, but I don't know if it's hard for me to say exactly where I draw the line. But I definitely am interested. I think it's an important part of Asian cinema history, and as well as cinema history, because they were doing stuff and they innovated a lot of things that people use today, and sort of like themes and I guess, cinematic techniques. You know, they pioneered those like years ago. So I'm definitely interested. It's an important part of, I guess, my history as well, film history. Right now I'm working on a couple things, so I'm kind of juggling, I guess, working on things to make money to pay my bills, and then working on things that are a sort of creative outlet for me. So one of the things that I'm working on to pay my bills is a promotional video for a company out of San Francisco. They're called Embark. They're doing a convention in Las Vegas called the Magic Show. And it's a big convention where clothing companies and fashion companies all come around for like a weekend. They have their little booths set up, and everybody has their little gimmick at the booth. Like they'll have a DJ, or they'll have some dancers, or they'll have like a little fashion show. So Embark is putting together a video with a bunch of dancers in it. So every dancer has a little interview section and has a little dancing section, and they basically just talk about their life and sort of why they're driven to do what they do, because part of the Embark theme is kind of like, be who you are, you know, don't make any apologies for that, I guess. It's like, just do what you're passionate about, I guess. So they have dancers to kind of expose that. Creatively, I'm working on a feature-length script based on a short story that I did for another film competition called Heaven Awaits. And I'm on like 70 pages, I guess, right now, and I'm just kind of working out the script on the whole, like expanding all the scenes, and then making stronger subplots, making stronger ties in between the characters. So really trying to develop that like ASAP, because it's always been on the go, and it's kind of like work on it really like a lot for 2 weeks and then not at all for 3 weeks, you know. So at this point I'm really trying to just work on it, even if it's a little bit every day, just to try to get that done. So those are the two things that I'm actively working on right now.